Hey, how's it going, guys? Hope you're all doing really well. So we're going to talk about forearms again in this video, and we're going to talk about Gunnar Rosbo and his forearm overload method for adding size and strength. Now this is a method, guys, that Gunnar came up with to help with lagging body parts, to try and bring body parts up to a more proportional standard, okay, to give off, the better symmetry. This is a method that is also used for guys who aren't genetically inclined in certain areas of the body, whether it be the calves, the forearm, the neck, so on and so forth. And the way this method works, guys, is you train that body part for 4 to 8 weeks, and you train it every day, 7 days a week. Okay? You do this at the end of your workouts if it's your forearms. So the way you would work this, guys, is you'd probably start off at 4 weeks. So you would train your forearms every day for 4 weeks, and you would train a different part of your forearm daily. So for example, on a Monday you could work your flexors, on a Tuesday you could work the extensors, on a Wednesday you could work your pronation and supination, and it just goes like that, guys. And then when you get to the end of it, you just go straight back to day one and do it all over again. So I would recommend you do this for 4 weeks, and each week you have to up the resistance, you have to up the poundage, guys. Each week you need to be adding more resistance, making the workouts harder, really trying to, get that heavy weight on those forearms, get those volumes up, those sets, those reps. Just try and be increasing in strength each week. You come up to the 4 week period, guys, you take a week off, okay? You don't isolate your forearms for a week. You can continue to do your other training, your back training, your chest, your legs. Just take anything where you're having to grip something, where you're having to grip a dumbbell or a pull down bar or whatever. Just stick a bit of light weight on there, guys. Don't hit the forearms too hard when you're doing your back workouts. So take the week off. When you've had a week off, guys, now do it for 6 weeks. Build up to 6 weeks, take 2 weeks off. And then build up to 8 weeks, take 3 weeks off. And the 1 to 3 weeks off, guys, is just to allow the joints to recover. It's just to allow the inflammation to come down. And Gunnar states that in that time period of the recovery is when the body will start showing signs of size, and you'll get some really good strength out of that. So I just thought I'd want to share that with you guys, because it's something, like I said, that I've been doing for a long time now, and I've definitely seen some improvements in my forearms from it. Even though I don't need to do this specific type of training, I do it anyway, guys, because I enjoy it. I enjoy forearm training. I always have done. But I've definitely seen some strength gains and some size gains, and everybody else as well. There's people around me that are constantly commenting on it all the time, so I know it's working. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. I thought you'd find that interesting. It's a method that Gunnar used to build up his upper arms, guys, because at the beginning of his career, Gunnar had enormous forearms. His forearms were so big that they overshadowed his triceps and his biceps, so he came up with this overload method in which he would do 20 sets on his biceps, he would do 20 sets on his triceps, lifting extremely heavy weight every single day, just to build his upper arms up, just to get his upper arms bigger than his forearms. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I've got a lot of cool stories, guys, to tell you about Gunnar. If you've got a few minutes spare, you might find interesting. I've always tried to find out information about the guy because, as many of you know, in the mid-70s to the early 80s, he was known as Mr. Forearms, as Popeye. He was known for having the largest forearms in bodybuilding. I still think he holds that record, guys. I've not seen many guys that have 20-inch forearms. I mean, and it's just ridiculous. So I went about trying to find somebody that might know him, trying to do a bit of research on Gunnar, and having to translate Norwegian text just to find out more on the guy. It's been time consuming, but it's paid off. So I found somebody that knew Gunnar. He's known Gunnar for over 40 years. They went to school together, they went to the gym together. This guy supported him through all his bodybuilding competitions. And this guy was telling me some really interesting facts about Gunnar, and he states from day one, and I think he was about 10, 11 years old when he first met Gunnar, that he already had enormous forearms. Even as a kid, this guy was already the strongest in school. He was the strongest kid around, and he just looked the part from the get-go. This guy made it clear that his dad had big forearms and his grandfather had big forearms. And there's actually a bodybuilding article, guys, back in the 70s when Gunnar began his career, where Gunnar actually speaks about his grandfather and his father having bigger forearms than what he did. And Gunnar, apparently, according to this friend of his, had 16-inch forearms at the age of 16 years old, flexed. That is ridiculous, guys. My forearms flexed now, at the age of 30, are 16.5 inches. I mean, I can't imagine a 16-year-old kid with 16-inch forearms. That is just ridiculous. And, you know, Gunnar makes no mistake about it that he was genetically inclined, that it ran in the family, the forearm genes. So, just an interesting story, guys. So, at this point of Gunnar's life, he's 14, 15 years old, and they join a gym in Norway. And this gym is full of up-and-coming bodybuilders. And this friend of Gunnar's was telling me that the second they walked in the gym, all the bodybuilders basically turned their heads to take note of Gunnar, because they could see from a distance that he had these huge forearms and that genetically he stood out. And this guy was telling me that Gunnar walked straight over to a barbell and he loaded 80 kilograms. Remember that, 80 kilograms on the barbell. He's 15 years old. He routinely performs 80 kilogram barbell wrist curls, to which everybody in the gym is just in awe of. And it's like a star was born from that day. He was telling me that he would take off the heaviest dumbbells from the rack and he would just do farmer's walks up and down the gym. He'll be doing hammer curls, he'll be doing extremely heavy chin-ups, and he's just a 15-year-old kid. And everybody in the gym was just in awe of how strong he was. And it's just crazy, guys. I thought that was a crazy story, but this friend of Gunnar's was basically saying that the overload method was true. It was something that Gunnar used to do before competition on his upper arms and his calves. And he had quite underrated calves, guys. Gunnar even states himself that his calves and his forearms grew the biggest throughout his career. And yeah, so I just thought you guys might find that interesting. I find stuff like that very interesting. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. So I think another title for this method is a Nucleus Overlord. I think that's another title that it's given. I read about this years ago, like I said, in a magazine that was in reference to Gunnar Rosbo, and he spoke about the forearm overload in order to build up larger lagging body parts. Lagging body parts. So it definitely works, guys. You want to give it a try, okay? Especially if you feel like you're not getting any size in your forearms or they're not developing. Just give this method a try. Try 4 weeks, have a week off. Try 6 weeks, take 2 weeks off. Get to 8 weeks and take 3 weeks off. And they'll grow, okay? Just keep giving it time, and you've got to work them hard. Every week on that course, you need to be up in the weight, up in the volume, up in the sets, and those forearms will grow. If there's anything I've missed out, guys, if there's anything you need to ask me about, leave me a comment, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. So there you go, guys. That's the Gunnar Rosbo Forearm Overload course. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. Take care. Have a nice day.